all of us collectively want to know what tomorrow is, want to know what the next 5 minutes is. But what we are expanding into is so wholly beyond our cognition, beyond our imagination, that if whatever we are grasping is going to be pulled away and ripped apart anyway. So we may as well just breathe into and acclimate to this more expansive experience of being groundless, or being without, in a non-grasping experience, non-attachment, right? It doesn't mean we don't feel, it doesn't mean we don't experience, it doesn't mean we don't enjoy or grieve, it doesn't mean any of that. It's just this feeling of impermanence. That's the word. I'm writing this down because that's the energy of what we're talking about. And so, Aurora, you said, I'm thankful to Jennifer Roundtree for helping me fix my laptop and my son messed it up. Oh yes, though, that does happen, Carol, I listened to yesterday's acclimation again last night. It was so spiritual, a gift to myself. Yeah, there's a lot, that came through yesterday for me as well. Michelle, yes, the sun is refreshing today. It even feels like a different sun, and surprisingly warmer than I would have thought, with a high of only 55 here in the Twin Cities. I'm experiencing some interesting temperature fluctuations the last few days. My body's too hot or too cold. Feels like physical releasing in my body today. I'm also on my cycle, which of course is releasing, but overall peace. Yeah, and well, as somebody who was feeling that way last week, I completely get it. And that I do think there's a lot happening that is physical, that we're moving in that. Let's see, Brianna, sorry, I missed you. Somehow it moved. Lots of thoughts, emotions, questions on how am I being of service, worried about family. This weekend realized that being here is enough. Being who we are is enough. Loving each other is enough. Yes. And it's actually more than enough. We're actually doing service beyond even our knowing, right? Every time we start to put a limit, or even the word enough isn't even, it's like a security blanket. Like it's good enough, but then really it's actually more than that. And we don't know how to receive that moreness. So we slap on that security blanket, that comfort of, well, it's here, it's good. And I'm not going to allow myself to move beyond into that. So just notice when enough comes up. I've been noticing it in my own language. So I don't offer a challenge that I'm not also experiencing. Hi, Gail. I'm glad you're on. And I will say today has been one of those days where it's an interesting experience to be in, to have this awareness, and to be able to have a different lens, right? And the lens that I'm noticing that I have is one of anything, any thought, any belief, any concept or construct that perpetuates fear, or enables fear, or enlivens fear, like nourishes fear. This is my awareness today. Anything that is in this, and where it's like the perfect petri dish for fear to grow, is not holy, is unholy. And why do we know this, right? And this is what's been coming into my consciousness is, so for example, right now there's a lot of information floating around, a lot of information that the information is disinformation, or the disinformation is really the information, or the and so what happens is it activates our mental structure. It activates our mind. And I want, like, I will tell you, I value my mental structure. Um I spent most of my life reliant on that mental structure, right? And so when I fall back away from it, when I watch all this happening and I'm like, why is this where we're at? And it is a state of confusion that keeps us looking. It's like perpetually getting clues that lead you in circles, that even when you notice the circle, it says the circle is the solution somehow. Like, it's like this weird thing that even when you awaken to the pattern, or awaken to some some string of truth, or some awareness um of the game, or the pattern, the trap, the maze that you're in, as soon as you become aware of it, there's more information that tells you that, see, even your awareness of what this is proof that this is true, or this is the way it is. And so it kind of is a way that we're uh is like the that we keep thinking that we keep thinking we are told, and we are it is perpetuating the construct that, through our mind, through having all of the facts, through our mental process, we will find our way out. And what I just keep seeing is that the mental process is being um, the mental process is what is perpetuating the trap, the cage. And I'm not saying, and I'm not saying they are creating a cage. I'm saying that we are all collectively creating and perpetuating and upholding the idea that the way out is through a mental process. And it's in that seeking that we get more ingrained in the mental process, which cannot find its way out, because our mind plays all sides against each other. And in a way, we are seeing this, what happens in between our ears, move from between our ears into how we are working together, where I can't trust you, you can't trust me. What you say, I'm not open to. Your experience is not my experience, therefore it's wrong. It's very polarized, it's extreme, and it's immovable. We are getting very immovable, and I'm not saying um I'm not putting that on you. This is what I'm noticing. And the breathing that we're doing, the technology that we're activating, the practice is bringing us into a different awareness. And for the past 2 weeks, there has been a real emphasis on our inner wisdom, on trusting that vibration that it's already here. It's in every single human being. It's in our DNA. It's in our blueprint. It's integrated into our being, and it's being awakened, and we're all in this alignment, right? We're waking up into it all works, but it's not about what's happening out here in the world. It's happening in the vessel. And from this place, it all gets very clear. And it's not our senses that are telling us it's clear. It's not what's processed in the mind that's telling us it's clear. It's in our beingness. Is anyone else kind of starting to come to this a little bit, or starting to feel a little shook um, by that growing awareness that we are not, that our thoughts are kind of the thing that's being triggered as our current trap? I'm curious. I'm curious. It's that I just keep seeing it. It's like, we'll just keep laying down crumbs, and even if the crumbs continually lead you in a path, um, in a circular path, and it doesn't matter what the crumbs are. It doesn't matter if you think you're right or they think they're right. They're just crumbs, and the crumbs are being perpetuated by the collective, like the them, the they, that we, whoever, the man, the government, the Illuminati, as my son would say, right? It feels like, um, it's just breadcrumbs, and even our certainty in ourselves, if it's coming from here, it's part of that. All of it is kind of it's a design to keep us in this construct that our mind is the way through, our mind is the way out. And so, Kathy wrote, during the discussion, I go through my friends list and invite those I think would be open to this practice. As I go through, they come into my mind and they make me smile, and I send a blessing to each one. I love that. Brianna, yes, all the news articles on Facebook I have avoided. It's a trap. And Joe, I'm not who I want to be, but starting to force myself to try to change the type of vibe. And Joe, that's such a good. I want to talk about that. Will somebody remind me that after our practice today, that we'll come back to that, because there's something really important in that, in our being able to really look at that. And I'm not picking on you, Joe, but I love that you continually share exactly where you're at, and I know that you are not alone in this. And I think it's that whole idea that again, where is the energy coming from? Is it coming from this headspace, like I'm going to create a new vibe, or is it surrendering the mind, the struggle, so that we can relax in and be, um, and acclimate into this vibration of being, acclimate into the truth of who we are, acclimate into wholeness, until the mind comes to be in alignment with that. Right now, there's just a lot of mental process happening, and the mental process just continually spins us in circles. Um, hi, Robin. Oh, I'm so glad you're on. Hi, Kathy. Welcome. I'm glad you both are on. Brianna, just being against one another in our opinions is causing separation when we are all one. Yes, and it's the idea that even what's interesting is that, um, sometimes we have to see what is in order to see our wholeness, right? We have to be able to acknowledge our separation, what has kept us separate. We have to be in that willingness, but we can't do it from a place of antagonism. We can't do it from a place of holding. We can't do it from a place of, positioning ourselves for the next thing. And so there is a really, really, like, opening. The opening is greater than maybe even we believe we individually can allow for ourselves. The invitation is that big. It is that big. Angela, I just saw a politically divisive post on LinkedIn. I got angry and I stopped and sent the poster and commenters love, not judgment, compassion, not frustration. It's about our reactions now, our limited thoughts and fears, but we can open. Yes. And we can, because understand, like, as open as we are feeling. Above all, be compassionate with yourself as we're compassionate with ourselves. And as we open, we begin to see and experience that we are all one, that we can't just cut off these folks over here that we don't like, or we can't just like erase people who are frustrating or people who don't agree with us, and then having to look at what are we wanting them to agree with. And we all have it. I mean, it's integrated in our in our way of being. And so as we go move into the practice of breathing and into this acclimation, what we are acclimating to, again, it's like we are breathing a different concentration of oxygen, right? And so um, as we breathe into this, as we breathe and expand, we cannot hold that only for ourselves. It's impossible. And that's what we're coming to, is that as we do this, we are breathing with all of humanity. We are expanding in this way. And there's nothing more we need to do except to be willing to breathe, be willing to surrender, be willing to notice those things in us that want to hold, want to grasp, want to be right or righteous or fierce or whatever it is. And love that part of ourselves, because that is where we're moving. That is where we're moving, right? And I love this. I love Mary, first seek to understand, then be understood. Yes. And that is beautiful. Um and then Joe, yes, we are the people. We are people, and we are humanity. And even when we think of we, are we opening ourselves up to only the we's that we like, or the we's that we're familiar with, or are we expanding to all of those who share our DNA, all of those who share our vibration, all of those who are breathing around the planet, those we don't know, those that we are afraid of, those that are foreign to us, those that live in places we can't even imagine. How expanded are we really? And this is where we are. This is where we're opening. And every day there's more to expand to, more to breathe into. So let's begin our practice today. I feel like this invitation every day is just so beautiful and so great. And I'm very grateful that we get to do this together. And so I invite you to just get comfortable and take some deep breaths, breathing in love and gratitude and appreciation. And just notice how easy it is to breathe in and relax. How easy it is to move in behind our thoughts, behind our emotions, behind our certainties and our obligations. And breathe into that place where we're quiet, where knowing vibrates within us, where we feel the life that is in every cell of our vessel, feeling the electricity, the neurons firing that awaken every cell to its function, and the knowing that is awake and alive in every cell of our being, knowing how to do its function, how to be in function, how to work in harmony and collaboration with the other like cells. Our heart beats not by one cell, but by many. Our muscles flex and extend not by one cell, but by the many that work and are willing to work in concert with each other. They know their function. We feel the harmony that moves through our being, that allows for this vessel to function, to be enlivened, to be alive. Everything working that we can be in this present experience, in this now moment. Awake, aware, present. And we breathe. And as we breathe in, we feel our awareness expand into our energy field, which is strong and clear and permeable, porous to the world around us, to the energetic force of life that moves in and through and across and with this planet. We feel it move into our vessel, moving through like a breeze. Every breath, awakening, opening to receive the vibration of the life force of this planet, that we may move with it, that we may feel it and resonate with it. Our energy field is our connection in the world, how we feel and experience all that is before our senses, before the touch, the sound, the taste, the smell. We experience all that is in and around us. Our senses awake, and we bring our attention beneath our feet to our connection to Mother Earth, to this beautiful home, this planet, who embodies the energy of the Mother. We feel her love rise up and through us, through this cord that connects to her. And here we receive nourishment. We receive love. We know we are home. We've always been home. We have always belonged to her. And as we breathe in, we are nurtured and nourished. She gives us home. She gives us ground to grow our food, to walk upon, water to quench our thirst, air to breathe, breezes to carry the most beautiful of smells, sunlight that is filtered that we may receive the healing properties, that it grows us. We are nurtured. We are in her loving care. And we welcome this love, this place, this home into our awareness. And we experience fulfillment. And it is here in this state of being that we are more open as we raise our attention above our heads to our connection with the quantum field, with the field of abundance, with the Christ consciousness, with all of the creative force that we call God. We breathe this light into our being. We breathe it into our vessel, into our body, through our crown chakra. It washes in and through us. And we expand upward and outward in this light. As we breathe in this crystalline light flowing into us, this beautiful energy, we are refreshed and renewed and washed clean that we may breathe fully. It washes in and through us, nourishing us, bringing plenty that we acclimate to this truth. We open to receive, and as we exhale, we release. We feel our connection with all of life, with all of humanity as we breathe, our vessel acclimating to the light of spirit. Porous, it moves in and through us as easily as breathing. And as we breathe, we grow in our capacity to receive and work with the light of spirit. And as we breathe, we expand. And as we expand, the collective consciousness of humanity expands, opening to receive the light of spirit, opening to receive abundance. And we breathe. Every breath is our connection to spirit, is our connection to the all that is. And as we breathe, we vibrate. We are attuned to truth that resonates in our being, vibrates within us, awake, aware, clear. This body is an expanded light vessel. We breathe light. We are attuned to the light of Christ consciousness, our mind quieting, our vessel expanding, and our willingness growing in every breath. In this now moment, as we breathe, we feel our awareness expand beyond time, beyond space. We experience what it is to be everywhere and nowhere. We are all here in this now moment. Access to everyone, everything. And we breathe that we may come to know this experience in our being, that we acclimate to this expansive awareness, feeling the flow of our breath move in and through our being and out and through into the infinite. We are in flow, in connection, in resonance, and we are awake to this knowing. Our vessel expanding with every breath, expanding beyond worlds, beyond galaxies. We expand in our awareness outward into the infinite. And we are present to this growing, expanding state of being. And we breathe. We breathe in and experience the consciousness we have called God. And as we breathe, we experience what it is to be breathed. The light moving in and through us, through every cell, in and between all of the molecules that make up every cell. We are expanded in our breath. We are expanded in the light. And we breathe. And as we breathe, we are breathing. Breathing the light into the collective consciousness of humanity. Breathing between the thoughts. Breathing between the ideals. Creating space. Expanding. Allowing the light to move into the dark places. Illuminating, enlightening, expanding. And we breathe. We breathe in and out of our vessel. Every cell of our being breathing in this alignment, awakening to its function as we awaken to our function within the whole. We expand and our thoughts soften. Our experience strong and clear, being shared with all of life, with all beings. We extend our energy outward, radiant in the light of spirit, radiant in the light of the infinite. And we breathe. It is through our breath that we awaken the knowing in our being, awaken the power in our being, awaken the love in our being. Our power is enlivened with every breath, moving, expanding harmoniously with all of life. Our choices, our thoughts, our responses, powerful in their alignment to create, to manifest, to awaken harmony in and with all of humanity. We breathe this flow of power, this awakened sense of being into our consciousness. And from here we breathe in the light of spirit, the force of love that is the force of creation, that which all is made manifest. It is in this energy field of love. And we breathe this in to our being. This is the light that moves in and through our vessel. This is the love of creation, the love of Christ consciousness, the love of manifestation. And it moves easily, abundantly into our being and emerges and expands outward, that others may awaken to this love in their own vessel, in their own awareness, in their own possibility. And we are awakened to the growing wisdom that resides in our vessel, that vibrates in truth, in harmony, in alignment with the Mother, with life, with nature, with God. We are attuned to this, and it is our guiding force, our flame, our light that resides in our being, that grows in its knowing. We feel it before we know it, and we breathe in that we may come to know this experience, that we may come into alignment and trust what we are being shown, what we are being given, what is awake and alive in our being. And we breathe. Your third eye, your pineal gland in the middle of your brain is being awakened and enlivened. You may experience pressure, dear ones. You are being attuned to access more of your inner wisdom, to have a greater connection in the vibration of truth to your mind, that it requires less overcoming and more simply a breath to come to know, to come into awareness. And we breathe. And it is from this place of enlightenment, this experience of expansion, that we witness the consciousness of humanity. We breathe with the all. We breathe compassion, grace, love, and we feel the longing for firmament, for clarity, for assurances, to know what is unknowable. The great level of discomfort that is arising in the many. We breathe the great discomfort that is arising in our own vessel. We breathe. We breathe light and love. What is emerging is beyond understanding, but requires an opening to allow possibility, to allow that which is the creative force to awaken in the human consciousness. That you may function optimally, that which is ready to be created can emerge, can be brought forth in the breath and in harmony with life, with nature, with good. And we breathe. And as we breathe, our own resistance, our own doubts and worries fall away. For there is no fertile ground here for this. What we see, experience, feel, we honor, but they do not grow in this soil. We are whole, and in the wholeness, we are fulfilled. Every breath we are fulfilled. The stories of want and lack fall away, and we experience our completeness, our willingness, our openness as it expands in every breath. The fear, the doubt, the judgment of self, of others releases, and we breathe in lightness, clarity, grace, and love for ourselves and for the all. We receive this willingly, like the shore receives the waves that crash upon it. There is no end to this current that moves what we need into our being. We feel it moving us. We feel ourselves being moved by it, opening, releasing, fulfilling, surrendering. We are in this rhythm, and we are awash in light. We breathe. We breathe, and our vessel expands. Our awareness expands outward, that we feel our fellow brothers and sisters. We feel them in our community. We feel them beyond our community. They are all vessels of light, even if they do not yet see it. We breathe with them. We open ourselves to feel the truth of humanity move into our consciousness. That which we have held as a limitation, as resistance to our connection, falling away. And we expand our awareness to nature around us, to the trees, to the grass, to the earth, the animals, the worms, the creatures, all of life. We feel it moving, and our awareness expands outward. We move like the eagle soaring. We move like the breeze blowing. We are everywhere present. We are the squirrels, the dogs, the cats, the fish, the whales. And we breathe harmony into the life force of this planet. We breathe because we can. Our function is as creative beings. We create and manifest. This is the function of humanity. And we breathe in the law of harmony into our being. And we acclimate to this, knowing that all that we create, all that we receive, we desire harmony above all else. That it shapes and opens us to our nature, that it awakens every being, every creature, every element on this planet to its divine nature, to its function. And the light of spirit moves into us, that we feel this awaken in our vehicle, in our vessel. And we are willing, we are open, we are enlightened, we are awake and alive. We breathe because we can. Our breath expanding our awareness, expanding the awareness of all of humanity, of all of life, to the law, to the rhythm, to the vibration of harmony that shapes and moves into our collective consciousness. It is from this state of being that we create, that we are awake and alive, and we feel our wholeness, the wholeness of our vessel. We experience all in this now moment, and we expand our awareness to each other, to those who are breathing in this now moment. Let us connect consciously, breathing together, feeling one another, expanding together. That we may feel the power, the grace, the wisdom, the harmony, and the light moving in and through our vessel, through our connection into the all. And it is in this state of being, this holy state of connection, that we know I am, I am, I am that I am, I am that I am, I am that I am, I am, I am, I am. Indeed, dear ones, you are connected and you feel beyond yourselves the light moving in and through you, expanding in all directions. Your vessel expanded in all directions. The capacity for light to be received is exponential. Your willingness, your openness to breathe. How could this be enough? Dear ones, it is not. It is plenty. And you are acclimating to the vibration of plenty, of abundance, of infinite. And as you breathe, feel that which is infinite rise in your consciousness as you open to receive. You exhale all that you are, all that you have been, all that has been. You release and surrender, only to open more fully to receive. You are no thing, and you are all things. You are all. And as you breathe and experience this, come into the vibrational resonance of wholeness. What is it you know in this vibration? What is it that is awake in your being? What is it that you long to create? What is it that you are awakening to, dear ones? Feel this vibration wash in and through you, acclimating to this now experience, available to you in a breath. You open your third eye, your pituitary gland opening in its awareness, opening in its capacity, that you may work more directly with your thoughts, that they are calm and resonant with your vibration, that you may more readily manifest what is in alignment with harmony, dear one. We breathe with you, that you may feel our love, and you may know that we feel yours. You are expanding always. And in this, you breathe hope, you breathe possibility for all of humankind. Hmm. I have what I would call a headache, but it doesn't feel like that. It feels like it's very much like if I were to do this and this, like straight in into the center of my mind, into the center of my head, feels like a sharp pressure. And I think I'm going to need to drink a lot of water today. That's what it feels like. The way, while they were talking, they didn't go into great detail about this, but it feels like it's opening us up to be able to communicate differently, to be able to receive information differently. I don't know if you are all receiving this or if you're feeling it, but don't worry. If you're not, if you're like, I don't know what she's talking about, that's okay. That's okay. It manifests in different people in different ways. That's what I found is that just like we don't all feel um the uh, sorry, my head just like more. We don't all feel the feelings the same day on the same in the same way every day. Like it used to feel like we'd all get like, oh, it's a full moon, so we all get wiggity whack. It feels very expanded. Um, that we feel it like in waves. And so just know that you may have already had something like this happen. You may be in the middle of it. Um, and it will happen in alignment with what is good for you. It's not like a push. Nothing that this has been one of the themes that just keeps coming up is that there's no need to push. Like there's no download of information. There's no pushing. It's more like what they're doing is assisting us in opening like uh, greasing the what do you call those? The hinges on the doors. We're opening the doors in our willingness, but they're greasing the hinges, helping us open when when we're ready to open. So it happens more easily, more readily. I feel really a lot of love too, and I feel like I will tell you, like it's moving down my neck. Maybe I'm having a stroke. No, I'm kidding. But it's like at the base of my head, center of my head, right here. I'm feeling all this pressure. Joe, I don't know, but I feel like I was awake but asleep here. It's funny that you say that because I feel like I woke up uh, after, and I feel like sometimes I feel like I'm in the channel and in the meditation, but I felt like I kept coming to through the meditation. Like I'd wake up and I'm like, where are we? Oh yeah, I should look and see where we are in the script, which we're hardly following anymore. It's like that. So yeah, I'm just having this crazy headache. But I remember, Joe, you reminded me, I was going to talk about something. If anybody wants to share, we'll keep talking because I love this. Joe, you had said earlier that I am not who I want to be, but starting to force myself to try to change the type of vibe. And so one of the things that I wanted to talk about is that we are very, very much in we've been holding this energy that somehow we must push, like we have to push our way into whatever it is. And it's so gentle. And the more that we can just breathe and surrender and allow the love to come into our consciousness, allow the spaciousness around our feelings, allow more grace for ourselves. And sometimes it's just the breath. Sometimes I just say, well, what I'm breathing is grace. Like I imagine that whatever I'm feeling or experiencing or struggling with is like solid. And what I do is I imagine the breath going in to the molecules and expanding just a little bit. And then if between every molecule it expands a little bit, it expands outward. And there's spaciousness. And now it's not as solid. And so this is where I breathe. This is how I breathe. I don't think I've ever shared that before, but that is really part of what I do that may be helpful for those of you who are finding things that you really want to move through, you want to push out or want to get past, that this practice of breathing into and allowing spaciousness to grow, breathing in and between the molecules, the cells, allowing it to breathe until the light permeates, until the breath permeates, and you realize it was never solid to begin with. Carol, you said it feels like the motion of centipede legs. Ooh, I know what you mean. And there's something so magical and creepy about that. I love it because I kind of love that. The base of my head has a lot of pressure and an ache at my tailbone. That Kundalini rising, Kathy, I'm telling you, you are working with Kundalini energy. I feel that when you said that, I'm like, I can just see it. So just allow it to move in and through you. Alexandra, I'm so glad you're here, and I hope you know I've been breathing with you and thinking of you and all the work that you're doing. I really am very grateful for you right now and what it is you're doing with those people who are transitioning. So thank you. Carol, oh my gosh, yes, that tailbone ache. Oh my goodness. Love it. Michelle, no pressure in my head, but I feel remarkably centered during the meditation despite having many distractions around me. I used to get angry about those distractions, kids and animals, but I've noticed I'm not anymore. This is big for me. I'm flowing with it. I love that. Like think about that lesson, Michelle. Like every bit what Michelle is just talking about is really the invitation, is that it's our resistance, like the story that we have about what a distraction is, that tells us we can't have what we want, or there's a barrier to it. And in the practice, you get to realize that it's just there, right? You're everywhere present. You are your distraction. You are your children. They are you. That you are the virus. It is you. That you are the people who are passing. They are you. It's like all of this, um, all of this moving back and forth. And I think that that is so, so, so important. Um, that we're in that vibration right now. And I love this, Kathy. Oh my gosh. Oh yeah, the Kundalini energy, right? Yes, I get that. Sometimes it's just there. Aurora, I finally feel motivation to get out and go do something today. I've been going through hermit mode for the last several days and finally feeling like I can open up. Well, and keep in mind, you've also been healing. You know, sometimes we blow past that. We forget, like, because we're feeling a little bit better, that there's still healing going on, that you just had some stuff going on. We are in a weird energy that that um that now today you feel good, go do something today. That's like, we don't have to have the story. And I feel like I'm nitpicky, and I'm not trying to be nitpicky. I hope you guys feel that in what I'm saying, is that it's a reminder when I'm sharing these things that it is also for me, that I also want to explain, and or to explain my conditions. But in this now moment, you feel open and willing. So be open and willing. And Joe, in this now moment, you're tired of the anger. So be tired of the anger. Be tired in it. Just say, I'm tired, and I don't want to hold this anger anymore. But if you are willing to breathe it away, what is it that you do want? Because so oftentimes we're so focused on what we're letting go of that we haven't thought about what it is we are opening to. So that is where the surrender is. Can you think about the breath practice? Is that we open to be nourished, and it's in that nourishing, it's in that willingness that we realize, oh, I don't need to hold on to this anymore because I have all I need. That part of me that feels like I need to hold on loosens. And so if you can think of it in those terms, that you don't have to worry about the anger, focus on what it is that does nourish you, what it is you are open to receiving. Where is what is coming for you? Where are you welcoming that? And in that sense of fulfillment and that sense of wholeness and completion, the need to hold the anger becomes diminished.